loudly tolerated in our ground zero mobile from Newman Gymnasium. At this time, we'd like to take a moment to honor those who tragically lost and are still fighting for their lives following the Lewiston shootings earlier this week. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of those affected and the greater Lewiston community. Thank you. At this time, let's get the starting lineups for today's contest. First for the visiting Lynx. A freshman middle blocker, number 1, Rayanne Bataney. A freshman defensive specialist, number 4, Jillian Donlin. A sophomore middle blocker, number 5, Emma Welsh. A freshman outside hitter, number 9, Sinead Thomas. A freshman setter, number 11, Estefani Morales. A sophomore outside hitter, number 13, Renee Hatch. Lesley is under the direction of head coach Jamie Rojas. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Husson University Eagles. A graduate student from Eagle River, Alaska, number 5, Cheyenne Young. A graduate student from Rochester, New Hampshire, number 6, Nicole Hobbs. A junior from Stafford, New Hampshire, number 8, Beatrice Kersey. A freshman from Centennial, Colorado, number 9, Jana Bruxmore. A junior from San Jose, California, number 11, Olivia McIntyre. A junior from Westerly, Rhode Island, number 12, Alexa Field. And a junior from Brentham, Massachusetts, number 13, Cam Schweitzer. Eagles under direction of Alex Gordon, assisted by Carl Lesley, Andrew Moore, and Amber LeMay. Fans, at this time, we ask you please rise and honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome everybody to the Newman Gymnasium. Ethan Moss alongside Jacob Wallette as we get set to bring you today's volleyball matchup between the Husson University Eagles and the visitors of Lesley University, the Lynx. This one's going to be an interesting matchup today between these two teams. Eagles currently sitting at second place in the North Atlantic Conference West standings, and the Lesley Lynx down towards the bottom of those standings, looking to see if they can try and take some sets from the Eagles here today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one last test before the end of the season to see what you got for next year and see if you can continue to build on what you've grown from this year.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point. And for the Eagles, trying to build some momentum heading into their final match on the road against Framingham State, and then into the NAC playoffs. Those will be taking place down at Castine, with Maine Maritime Academy taking the number 1 seed, clinching that a couple of weeks ago. So they will be hosting the championships this year, again trying to win the conference for what feels like, I don't even know, like the 12th straight year, something like that. Incredible run of dominance down there. Eagles currently best seeded to try and dethrone them next year. A couple of injuries this year and a rough start to the season have quelled those hopes for this year, but next year will be back better than ever. As we get set to start, it'll be Renee Hatch, the sophomore out of Norway, Maine, starting it off for the Lynx. Serve goes into the back row. Tercy is there. McIntyre now looking outside to Prescorn, who sends it out of bounds. First point will go to the Lynx. Prescorn winning Rookie of the Week in the North Atlantic Conference last week. Hatch's serve goes to Hobbs in the back row. Now McIntyre again back out to Prescorn and again just out of bounds.
We see she's trying to place that ball right on the end line, right on the sideline there, but she's getting it just a little too hard, and it's just going out just by a little bit.
Looping serve to the back row again, and Young. Now McIntyre's going to look to Schweitzer on the opposite side, off the hands of Hatch, and out of bounds for an Eagles point. Another quick substitution for the Eagles. It'll be Lana Peruti coming in for Nicole Hobbs, as McIntyre back in the rotation will take the serve. Now to note for the Lynx, only 6 players traveled up from Cambridge up here to Bangor, so they will be playing all positions today in a rotation. Schweitzer gets the put back and ties this one up at 2 here in the first set. McIntyre's serve to the back row off the hands of Morales and out of bounds. 3 straight points for the Eagles. Hatch is there, tapped back over, and Prescorn with a good reaction as Thomas was trying to get it over her head. Prescorn puts it back and finds the hardwood here in the Newman Gymnasium. Goes short, and it'll be 4 touches on the Lynx. Good diving attempt from Thomas to keep that one alive, but couldn't get it over the net. Now here's Thomas again, looking to Donlin, who gets it over but out of bounds. Now 6-2. McIntyre's serve to the back row. Thomas again looking to Welch. Can't quite get it over. 7-2. And Coach Jamie Rojas will take a timeout for the Lynx. We're going to step aside and be back here in just a minute. Back out of the break, McIntyre still with the service. 7 straight points for the Eagles here in this first set. This one again to the back row. Hatch returns. Now Thomas looking back to Hatch, loops it in just in front of the line. Young is there. Now here's Schweitzer on the attack and splits the defense for another Eagles point.
Good placement there from Schweitzer on the finish. Put it right in between 2 defenders where nobody could get to it. Beautiful finish there.
McIntyre again it's Hatch, then to Thomas, and then back to Hatch. That's the same script. Loop to the back row, now McIntyre, this time to Prescorn off the block, and out of bounds for an Eagles point. Thomas can't get there as that one headed out of bounds off of the hands of Welch. And we mentioned that only 6 players for the Lynx, so they're going to be playing every position, and Welch in that case, the middle blocker, generally does not play defense in that back row, so that could be contributing to some of these return errors.
It's definitely difficult to play a position when you're not normally used to it.
McIntyre again to Welch, tapped back over by Thomas, and that'll stop the run for the Eagles. Sinead Thomas finds a hole in the defense, and it's 11-3. Here's Fatahi, freshman out of Arlington, Mass, to serve. Rudy for the kill, gets it down. 12-3 now. Eagles get it right back. This time it's Beatrice Tercy who's doing the libero for the Eagles today. She'll be back to serve. Hatch is there to handle that one. Now to Fatahi, bumped back over by Thomas. Now McIntyre again to Peruti, who gets a little bit too much on top of that one and sends it out of bounds. Eight-point advantage for the Eagles here in the first set. McIntyre tracks that one down, now looking to Beal. And the Lynx can't handle it. That was Welch in the front row. Couldn't quite get a hand on it, trying to get it to Donlin. And it's 13-4. Marion Glinsky coming into the game. She asked me not too long ago to shout out her mom next time she got into a game when I was on the broadcast. So shout out to Marion's mom.
Moms are always #1 supporters, no matter what sport you're playing or what you're doing. You always are going to have your mom in your corner.
Absolutely. Marion with the ace on that time. 14-4. This one off the hands of Hatch. And out of Fatahi, back over sent by Morales. And Glinsky can't track it down. Point goes back to the Lynx, now 14-5. As it'll be Peliquin coming into the game. Peliquin did a great job filling in for the injured Tercy for a while at the libero position. Hasn't seen a whole lot of time since, but in the limited time has been very good for Coach Gordon. Donlin's serve falls short, and it's 15-5, so it'll be Peruti hanging back to serve. Looping serve to the back row. Thomas gets there. Now Morales. And just too short off the hands of Fatahi. This one a little bit too far. And the Lynx will get it back. Now 16-6, still a 10-point advantage for the Eagles after an opening 10-point run. And Welch's short serve falls short. Right back over to the Eagles. Alexa Beal will take it in the backcourt. Welch handles this one. Now Thomas looking back over the middle. Fatahi gets it over. And this one falls short off of the antenna. And a point to the Lynx. Here's Morales. Sophomore out of New York. Puts it short. And it's Cheyenne Young now back to serve. Been a key piece for the Eagles this year. Fittingly also out of Eagle River, Alaska. Sends that one out of bounds, but more on Young, not notching the program's first triple-double. So putting up at least double digits in 3 different categories. Renee Hatch will send it to the back row. Tercey gets there, bumped back over by Peruti, and a good placement from Fatahi. Caught that defense back and puts it right in the middle.
Yeah, it looked like the Eagles there were expecting a third person to take a touch on it, but that time Fatahi just took it herself. May have confused the defense there.
Hatch's serve right on the line, but called out of bounds by the line judge. 19-9, the Eagles approaching victory here in this first set. This one handled by Hatch, sent up by Welch, and Fatahi can't get a handle on it. That one falls, and it's 20-9 as McIntyre will be back to serve in the rotation for the Eagles. We saw them put together a great run under her service earlier in the set. Welch is there, sent back over, and referees rule it off the antenna with the attacked attempt from Hatch. Here's McIntyre. That one a great save there from Thomas. Good reactionary to get it over. Welch gets it back. They're somehow keeping this one alive, playing some pinball out there now. McIntyre to press score and off of the hands of Morales and out of bounds for an Eagles point.
There's the power that we've seen from Prescorn throughout the year. This time she finds a way to get a point off of it. Earlier we've seen her miss a couple times.
That one just in bounds. Hatch let that one go, or excuse me, Welch let that one go initially. And it stays into that back corner. 23-9. Welch handles this one this time. Now looking to Fatahi, looped into the back row as McIntyre goes over the middle to Peruti. Now here's Thomas again to Fatahi. Again looped to that back row. Now Schweitzer off of the hands of Welch and out of bounds. And it's now set point for the Eagles. Again, a great run. Delaney Gross coming into the game. She'll take the service. Sophomore out of Quechee, Vermont. This one is short to Hatch. Welch will get it over to Fatahi off of the block of Schweitzer and out of bounds for a Lynx point. 24-10 as it'll be Fatahi again back to serve. Sends this one short to Tercey. Couldn't quite get it over. Now off the net. Here's Thomas looking back outside to Donlin. Gross is there. Now to Schweitzer. Kept alive, trying to get it back over. And Prescorn with the putback as the Eagles will take the first set. 25-10. We're going to step aside for about 3 minutes here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Back out of the break, Eagles take the first set 25-10 over the Lynx. As we swap sides of the court, it'll be Regan Libby set to serve it off for the Eagles. Will be the freshman out of Brooksville, Maine. Trying to start off this second set on a good note for the Eagles. That one will go short. And the Lynx will take the first point. It'll be Sinead Thomas. Freshman out of Clayton, North Carolina. Starting it off. Libby in the back row gets to that one. Now here's Tercy. Off the hands of Fatahi and out of bounds. Eagles answer right back, and it's not at one. Here's McIntyre again to serve. Off the hands of Thomas and can't track it down for Morales. trying to get there. Welch just barely got or that was Hatch, excuse me, just barely got a hand on it. And it'll go out of bounds for another Eagles point. This time an ace for McIntyre. This one sent back over by Morales, kept alive, and sent back by Schweitzer. Tapped over by Donlin. Now to Tercey, looking outside to Prescorn. Good adjustment, and just in bounds, right on that back line. Prescorn gets it down, and it's 4-1.
This time we see the finesse from Prescorn. Usually we see a lot of strength and power. This time we got a little finesse.
Sent back by Morales. Now here's Tercey looking outside to Prescorn. Good kill. Can't handle it in the back row for Hatch. And it's 5-1. When Prescorn can control her power and get it down, that's when she's so dangerous. After a good trip out to Vermont, winning the NAC Rookie of the Week. You can see why.
We're seeing here at the start of the second set, Olivia McIntyre, she's just picking up where she left off in the first set after having a great 2 runs of service.
McIntyre again short, handled by Fatahi. Now Hatch gets it back to McIntyre. Tercey looking outside. Schweitzer now off of the hands of Fatahi and out of bounds. It's 7-1. Out of bounds on that serve, and a point goes to the Lynx. It's now 7-2 as it'll be Donlin there to take the serve. McIntyre looking to Prescorn and gets that one down just in front of Fatahi. It's 8-2 and the Eagles get it right back. Here's Tercey to serve. It's that one off the hands of Thomas, and Hatch can't save it as that one was tracking out of bounds. Got a hand on it, but couldn't get enough air under it to keep it alive. It's 9-2. This one short off the hands of Donlin. Sent back over by Hatch. Diving save by McIntyre. Now here's Beal to send it back. Hatch again looking over the middle, sent back over by Welch. Libby gets there in the back row, now to Beal. Underneath is Donlin trying to get it back over, just barely does. Now outside to Prescorn. Thomas saves it, now to Hatch, back over Tercey. To McIntyre, back outside to Prescorn. Saved by Fatahi. Welch saves it, and off the net. Morales tried to keep that one alive, and just not enough time there.
Very good rally there. See it go back and forth multiple different times. It's always a treat to watch a good rally.
It'll definitely never get old. Tercey sends this one off the net. Good reaction from Fatahi to keep it alive. Off the net, saved by Thomas. That one goes back over. Somehow Peruti tries to tap it over. Now Thomas looking back to Hatch. Libby comes up, collects that one now outside to Prescorn. There it is, right inside the line, 11-2 now as Prescorn notches another kill. Tercey serve inbounds as that was in the back row. That was Donlin and Thomas seeing if that one was going to go out of bounds. Wrong decision as that one stays inside the line. Tercey now to Donlin. Looking back outside to Prescorn, but off the net, and that one will go under. A point to the Lynx. Now it's 12-3. And it'll be Welch to take it. That one goes short off the net. Eagles will get it right back. 10-point advantage here in this second set. Couple of substitutions. White will come in for Prescorn and will take the serve. Goes short off the hands of Donlin. Welch tried to keep it alive, and Morales couldn't get there in time. An ace for White. This one to the back row. Donlin gets it over a rafter. Peruti with the putback, and an Eagles point. I've never seen a ball go over the rafter successfully, at least.
Yeah, that's very skillful, to say the least.
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but impressive nonetheless. But a timeout taken by the Lynx, and we're going to step aside for about a minute here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Back out of the break, Eagles with the 12-point advantage. White still on the service.
Have some confusion between the officials here.
They're waiting to set the rotation. I think they were checking on Tercey, see if there was an injury there. I think she's totally fine. White serve to Thomas, sent back over by Morales. Now looking outside to Young. Diving save by Thomas. That'll get back over by Fatahi. McIntyre with a good set to Peruti. Off the hands of Donlin, and that's a good point for the Eagles.
Great awareness there from McIntyre to not hit the net, because once you hit the net, then it goes the other way. Not to hit the net, beautiful set for the finish.
White serve again to the back row. Thomas steps in front of Donlin to get there. And just too short for Fatahi. Right on that net. And again, like you said, don't want to run into it. Glinsky coming back into the game for Beal. White will stick with the serve. Goes short to Thomas. Sent back over by Morales. Now here's Tercey. A little miscommunication as that was McIntyre and Tercey almost run into each other, but Glinsky puts it up and down for another point, 18-3 now. Off the hands of Welch. Morales there to collect it. And Hatch will send it back over. Diving save by Tercey. And a bit of confusion. Tercey thought she had it, but referees thought they saw some floor. And 18-4, that'll stop a good run from the Eagles. Morales will be back to serve. That one will go short right back to Husson. Substitution, it'll be Julia Ellis coming into the game for Schweitzer. Rudy on the serve. Gets it to Morales. Now Thomas looking back outside, tapped over but out of bounds by Hatch. 20-4 is the advantage now for the Eagles. After winning the first set 25-10, serve goes to Welch. Sent back over by Hatch. Prudy's there. Now McIntyre looking to Young off the hands of Hatch in the back row. Diving save by Peruti on that one. Here's Glinsky to bump it back over. Hatch is there. She'll send it out of bounds. And another point for the Eagles. Gross coming back into the game for McIntyre. Rudy goes to Morales. Now to Hatch, looking over the middle for Fatahi. Now here's Young on the attack. It'll be just over. Boy, that was a hard one to read, going through the rafters. Glinsky couldn't quite track it down, and a point goes back to the Lynx.
That's the third or fourth time that the Lynx have put it through the rafters, and it's not hit the rafters. It's very impressive.
There's a lot of rafters here in the gym, so it's impressive.
Rafters, lights, speakers.
All sorts of stuff. Rotation fault called on the Eagles. Coach Gordon's going to try to sort this one out. And Gordon talking with Young, sorting this one out. Was on the wrong side of Glinsky. Volleyball rotations are a little bit, we'll say, hard to explain if you don't know the sport very well. It doesn't always make a whole lot of sense.
Right. But Coach Gordon does a very good job at what he does, being his second season with the program. He's, from what I've seen from volleyball games here, he does a great job. Seems like everybody likes him.
Here's Hatch for the serve. We'll send that one out of bounds. 22-7 now. Glinsky will be back to serve. Schweitzer coming in for Ellis. Glinsky serve to the back row. Just in front of Morales. Looks like she was going to try and get that one up, but just out of bounds. And another point to the Lynx, making some noise late here in this second set. It's Fatahi. Sends this one short. Good recovery from Hobbs, and Thomas can't get it over the net. Now 23-8. This one just short off of Welch. Now looking back outside, there's Young to tap it over. Gets sent out of bounds on the diving attempt from Morales. Now set point as it's Young taking the serve. Since this one's short and off the hands of Morales and out of bounds, Eagles take the second set 25-8, leading this 2-0 over the Lynx. We're going to be right back in about 3 minutes here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Back here out of the break, Ethan Moss alongside Jacob Ouellette here for this third set. Eagles up 2-0. So it'll be Renee Hatch starting it off. Once we get the ball onto the court. There we go. Now we're going. Here's Hatch. Sends this one to Young in the back row. Gamache fresh into the game to Prescorn. Off the hands of Welch. Good save to keep that upright. Sent over by Fatahi. Now here's Gamache again looking to Beal this time. Sent over. And the back row is Prescorn. There it is. Finds that front corner. And the Eagles take the first point of this third set.
Prescorn starting to get adjusted with her kills. She's picking spots now early in earlier in the match, she was a little wild. Now she's picking spots.
It'll be Gamache, the freshman out of Weir, New Hampshire. Off the hands of Thomas. And she'll get the ace on that first serve. This one to Fatahi, they get it right back, and she'll save it. Tersine looking outside to Prescorn, off the net and off the hands and out of bounds of Welch. Good power to get it to that back corner. Now 3-0. Good serve from Gamache. And off the hands of Welch and way out of bounds. Morales can't get there in time. It's 4-0. One goes short off the hands of Fatahi. There to save it is Morales. Donlin gets it back over. Now Peruti gets up there and puts it down. 5-0. That one goes short, dropping right in front of Hatch. And the Eagles are going to continue this great run under the service of Gamache. That one will go just out of bounds. And the first point for the Lynx in this third set. It'll be Fatahi to serve. That one rolls off the net, catches Peruti off guard. 2 straight points for the Lynx. It's always so hard to judge when it's going to do that. Once it really rolls on top of the net, you don't know which way it's going to go.
Right, absolutely.
Fatahi's serve goes short, handled by Young. Now to Schweitzer off the hands of Fatahi, tracking it down as Welch gets it over. And Hatch can't get there. Peliquin coming back into the game for Schweitzer. She will be back to serve now. This one, a looper goes short, handled by Fatahi. Donlin's got to get it over. Does to that back row. Now Gamache looking to Prescorn in front of Donlin and down. 6-point advantage now for the Eagles. Off the hands of Fatahi, back over. Here's Gamache looking to Beal. Oh, they did it again. Another one through the rafter. There's Thomas. Now Peruti off the block and down.
They have now officially done it on both sides of the court.
I mean, I feel bad that this is the coolest part of today, but
it's a treat to watch.
It's fun. You gotta have fun sometimes. That's what it's about. Out of bounds off the hands of Hatch. Here's Peliquin again. This one goes short and a diving Fatahi can't get there.
We see the Eagles on the sideline doing the wee bowling celebration, like when it goes behind you.
Yeah.
And they're all spinning.
They have fun celebrations. The Eagles bench has a lot of energy. Good save from Fatahi to get there, and another one by Young. Thomas gets it. Now Gamache looking to Beal, taps it over, and the dive of Hatch isn't in time, off the hands and out of bounds. Point again to the Eagles.
Couple highlight reel saves in that little string there. One from both sides.
Back to back as well. Thought there was no chance Fatai was going to get there, but got a hand underneath it and kept it alive. Thomas looks to Donlin, who can't get it over. Now 13-2. Sent back down by Prescorn right in front of Thomas. Now an 11-point advantage for the Eagles. They actually called that a foul on the net for Prescorn. So Lesley will get the point, and Thomas will be back to serve. Sent back over by Gamache, rolled it off the top of the net, and it's 14-3. Prescorn now in the backcourt to serve. That one, good serve off the hands of Thomas, and that one will carry back towards the doors here at the Newman Gymnasium. Quick ace for Prescorn. And there's Thomas to get that one. Donlin gets it over. Peliquin is there. Now here's Gamache looking outside to Beal. Off the block. And Welch gets up there to get it down. Point for the Lynx. It's Donlin now to serve, as Ellis comes back into the game. This one goes to Beal. Now Gamache looking to Young. Off the hands of Welsh and down. 16-4 now. Substitution is Hobbs for Peruti. As Hobbs will take the serve. This one goes to the back row. Thomas is there. Now Morales. Hatch gets it back over. Libby is there. Now Gamache looking outside. Beal can't get enough under it. And it's 16-5. Here's Welch to serve right in front of Peruti, or excuse me, in front of Peliquin and Ellis. Little miscommunication as that one ricochets out of bounds. Welch will get the ace. To the back row for Hobbs. Gamache comes up to collect it. Peliquin can't get it over. And 3 straight points for the Lynx. 16-7 here in this third set. This one goes short off the net, and the Eagles will get it back. Beal will send it off the hands of Thomas, and it'll be trapped on the net by Hatch. Officially called a lift. 18-7 now, continuing under the service of Beal. This one will go short. And it'll be Morales back to serve. There's Hobbs in the back row. Gamache will tap it over off the hands of Morales and out of bounds for another Husson point. That 19-8 now, as it'll be Libby coming back into the game. She'll go back to serve. And Ellis will exit for Prescorn. Eagles able to play everybody who is healthy today. Getting everybody some playing time. That one sent out of bounds. 20-8 now. Libby's serve goes off the hands of Donlin and out of bounds. Another ace for Libby as it's 21-8 now. Eagles approaching match point. This one goes to Welch in the back row, now looking to Fatahi, diving save by Libby. Now outside to Prescorn, just gets it out of bounds, but off the block. 22-8. This one goes up to the back corner. Welch had to get a hand on it. Can't get it up. 23-8. Sarah White will come back into the game for Cam Schweitzer. This one goes up and just out of bounds for Libby. 23-9 as the Lynx get it back. And it's Hatch to serve. Just served to the back row. Libby is there. Now Gamache looking to White. Tapped over. Now here's Thomas to Donlin. Loops it back to Beal. Now Gamache again looking to Prescorn. Tapped over. Good save by Fatahi to keep it alive. Now Prescorn again. That's Welch in the back row and sent out of bounds. Fatahi couldn't keep it in the wheelhouse of Thomas as it's now match point for Gamache to serve. That one goes short. And it's Fatahi to serve for the Lynx. So a nice looping serve handled by Libby. Gamache tracks it down out of bounds. Now here's White off the hands of Morales and down. Eagles will take this third set 25-10, winning it all 3-0 over the Lynx of Lesley. For Zethan Moss, Jacob Ouellette. Want to remind you that men's soccer is going to be taking on UMaine Farmington here in a couple of minutes just across the way at Boucher Field. And later today, women's field hockey will be taking on Thomas for the North Atlantic Conference Championship at 4. But for Zethan Moss, Jacob Ouellette here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network, thanks for tuning in today.